Okay, so according to YouTube, we are live now. I have tested my microphone prior to this, so unlike last time, it hopefully shouldn't be too hissy or fuzzy. Do let me know if that is the case in chat, and I will take a look to see if I can rectify that immediately. Technical difficulties aside, that was just mainly down to, for some reason, I had a dependency issue with OBS, so it couldn't fire up the NVEC encoder by NVIDIA, so there we go. That's the reason why I couldn't start the stream. It just kept on spamming me saying it couldn't start the stream. But anyway, today's video is a bit of an interesting one. I'm still going to just fire up my virtual machine for this. So essentially we are going to take a look at Daimler's DAS software today and have a look at it inside Ghidra. So I have been doing quite a bit of this, like over the past couple of weeks, just digging it here and there, but it is a very painful procedure to do. So I thought I'd do it over a stream, you know, and maybe some clever people in chat can help me around this. So I've established there's a few components to DAS side of things. I haven't looked at the Zentry side of things, however it seems to use some of the same core libraries. So essentially you have cal, cal.dll, and that can be broken down into calconfig.dll, calreal.dll, and calsimu.dll. Cal is essentially a library which seems to perform the actuations, like reading data from an ECU, writing data to ECU, and that interfaces as like an intermittent. So, for instance, you click a button inside DAS and it will trigger cal to do something. Now, cal then talks to another DLL called Caesar, who then does all the raw hard work behind the scenes to actually talk to the car through like the pass-through protocol or whatever protocol you're using with your like diagnostic adapter. Then there is also Csd Dll, which is even more interesting. So essentially within DAS itself there are these scripts, or CSD runtime code as it's called, which is for like some of the menus and stuff that you have in your UI. They're built using scripts rather than like hard coded. So for instance, if you click on the ECU and it like tells you to do like a list of steps in a procedure, that's all generated using CSD runtime code. So I thought we should first of all look at CSD. So let's open this up. I'm going to open up my virtual machine on a second monitor just so I have that on standby in case I need to access that today. And let me very quickly just make sure that the chat hasn't frozen as it seems to sometimes do with me. Yeah, if I just quickly go to YouTube and look at my video there, I should be able to see chat. Because sometimes, for some reason on YouTube Studio, the chat just seems to stop working. So I'm going to very quickly do that just to make sure that, you know, I haven't... one sec, let me go here, just open this up. Okay, so chat hasn't frozen, that's good. That's good to know. And I'm going to unpin that previous message about being late, because we are now here. So... I don't know if there's a way on Ghidra to zoom in, because this is actually going to be quite hard for some people to see. Let's see, is there a zoom ability to zoom in on the main window? Is there a way we can do this? Or is it called like UI scale? Aha, okay, there is a issue on it. Okay, so apparently if I edit a certain file, I should be able to get Ghidra's UI to, or Ghidra, however you want to say it, I don't even know. CD opt, CD Ghidra. Yeah, there's apparently a way to scale the UI on this, and it should be... Just make sure that this is doing what it should do. This takes launch... Yeah, so... CD support, and then there is vim launch.properties, and I should just be able to find UI scale. There it is. Let's see if I set U 1.5 and now launch Ghidra, what happens? Is it going to launch? It might not like 1.5x, we might have to just go to 2x, which point it might be a bit too big for me, but well, we'll see. Yeah, that's made no difference. Okay, we'll go 2x. We'll change to 2. Okay. Oh my god, that's huge. Okay, well, I'm gonna have fun with this. Yay to me. Yeah, I don't know if this is just impractical now. I mean, would you guys prefer this, or would you guys prefer me going back to 1.0? Because something tells me this is mildly... yeah, I'm gonna go back to 1, sorry. I can't use that. Oh, why are you still open? There we go. Right, so let's go back to... I need to open cal.dll, and I need to open also Csd Dll. Okay, so we have Csd Dll and cal.dll. So I might as well show you what I mean by this runtime code first before we start digging deep into this. So if I go ahead, I'm going to put my phone view up just quickly here, and put my Machina A0 in. So I've got a Windows driver for this, so I can use this with DAS now. So it makes my desk setup so much more easier. And I go ahead and unplug my M2. Bye bye. Plug my A0 in. And now back on. I'll put combined up. Virtual machine redirect, and we'll redirect the A0 into the VM. And launch Xentry Diagnostics. And we shall select Machina's A0. Now what I'm going to do is there's this cool handy little utility on Windows called debugview.exe. If you open this, this now prints system logs. Now the thing is with, or like debug system logs I think is more specific, DAS, or most of the DLLs seem to be really verbose with this, so this is how I've been tracking down so much of what goes on behind the scenes of this. And I'm going to quickly take this off screen just for a brief second so I can copy a VIN number, which is the VIN for the ECU on my, which is the VIN for this ECU here. So I'm just going to copy that into here without revealing all the other VINs I work on for like my car and stuff like that, because I don't want you guys to know. And we just go to VIN and we throw that boy in there. Continue. 722.640 transmission, no 716 or whatever. Xentry Diagnostics. Now watch this. Look how much this has started spamming. Wait for it. It's going to do a lot more now. Okay. So CFG rescale. Actually, let's see if I can zoom this in. Can I? No, I can't. I can't zoom this in. I'm sorry, guys. But CFG rescale comes from cal.cfg.dll. So this seems to be right, finding this com.rescale.ini and then reading how to convert units to units. So that's a pretty cool thing. I'm using Arch Linux. So I'm using Arch Linux and then Windows guest VM with my car stuff on it. Using the label, so I have access to that. And then if we go F2 to continue. Now, because I have Caesar and various Mercedes DLLs in debug mode, this is going to be painfully slow compared to how even DAS normally is at being slow. Here you go, so look how much it's already just printed into... Oh, still trying to... Here we go, look, it's still trying to print into... Yeah, there's quite a lot of prints. And I believe this is F5 for this ECU. So it's a diesel engine, right-hand steering. And it's an E220... Yeah, E220 CDI. So this now, please wait, this now code checking CGW, this comes from CSD. So Csd.dll is telling DAS to essentially execute a script which now checks central gateway for something. I'm not entirely sure what it checks it for, but there we go. And also, we have 14 people currently watching. That's more than I've had in a while, so yay. 15 now. Oh, very nice. So yeah, we just wait for this to finish spamming logs. See, this is just, like, huge now. But this is mainly, you don't normally see this. This is because I put DAS in debug mode, so essentially you can just toggle it in one of the ini files to make it just spew everything out. But unfortunately, because Caesar is so, well, Csd.Dll itself is so slow, because I've noticed what it tries to do is it will reopen a file every single time it wants to access a service, or every single time it wants to like read an actuation value, rather than caching it in memory, which is what I thought it would do. No, it just keeps opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing the file. So that's probably why this takes absolutely ages for it to do anything. So now we wait, and my debug viewer is starting to be, how much CPU is this thing consuming? Sweet jeez, 73% of a hexacore C. Oh, that's Windows module installer. I can just kill that. I don't care. Yeah, debug viewer. Yeah, DAS is taking quite a bit of CPU time right now. Just trying to load up all the CBF files it needs. So basically, there's a file which tells it exactly what files to load up for each car. So when it takes the VIN in, the first 3 digits are the model code, and the second 3 digits are the body code, and it checks that body code to work out which, basically, ECUs the car should have. And then with that it can work out, okay, so I need to load this, 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 and this into memory, and then I need to start interrogating, execute this script, and then it basically, that's all that DAS needs to do, and then after that Csd is in charge of everything. See, look, and we're still trying to load this. By the way, for any new people here, consider subscribing. It means a lot. And also, if you have any question at all, feel free to just ping me in chat. Like, I read it, and I'm happy to answer questions. Also, can you guys hear the music at all? I've just got some like chill stuff going on in the background. Nothing too much. See, now this type of stuff is really great, right? diag service name num param. So this is a logging message. So dtioc0 dpf spy. I know this is a function within the CBF file for the engine, but this is pretty cool. diag service name prep param. Okay, that's good. Music is fine. Partly because I can search for this in Ghidra and I know exactly which function is called, which function should be called this. Okay, that's good. Music is right. Volume is nice. Okay, good. So this seems to be, we seem to be off to a good start. But yeah, also you can tell from this that this is one reason why I want to rewrite the whole software stack. So to be clear, just to save my ass from Mercedes, I'm not trying to find a way around some of the authentications and stuff. I'm just literally rewriting it using a more modern interface. So also I should probably say DAS uses GTK2, which is from 1995, I think. And then, oh, here we go. Look, now it's started doing something. There we go, finally. And they've basically got a custom theme with it to make it look like Windows 1995. Or I think Windows 2000, I can't remember. But that's basically why the title bars here aren't legacy Windows, they're like something completely different. So I'll load up Vedemo in a minute to show you what I mean. But basically, Windows has for a default title bar, a legacy title bar, and the current Metro one, which, you know, looks like this blocky one. This is custom, so you could theoretically change... Oh, and also the fact that if I unplug it from voltage, the status bar can go red. Wait for it. There we go. It can go red like that, and that's something that that you can't normally do in Windows, so they're using a custom everything, which is quite funny. But anyway, we go to control units. Oh, and it's frozen again. Oh boy. Yeah, and DAS is just basically frozen. Oh, and also one thing as well about DAS is it's all single-threaded. So everything is done on the UI thread. There is no sense of doing something on the background thread, because this doesn't seem to be able to do that. It just kind of says, yep, everything, throw it on the UI thread, which is why currently, like, the whole application has just frozen because it's trying to load a file in the background. You can probably hear my VM just screaming at me now. So again, this is something that I want to rewrite. I mean, Zentry as well is going to be interesting to rewrite, because I don't think Zentry will be rewritten, partly because that's more modern, that's based in Java, so yeah, it's a bit slow, but it's nowhere near the level of crap which DAS is. Oh, and also, here's the thing. I don't know if you guys know with Daimler software, but you can get like a pass-through edition and then the normal Zentry software stack. The only difference between the two, so bearing in mind they're both like 50 gigabytes in size, the only difference between them is a couple of configuration files and Csd Dll, which either is compiled with pass-through support or compiled without it. Which I find really annoying, because that's a waste of space, right? Why can't they just ship one version with both? Like, it's not that difficult. I mean, I say that, I haven't seen the codebase for Caesar, but I dread to think what that looks like. Because looking at the disassembled stuff, it looks horrible. So I can't imagine the original source code to it was any better. And it's still frozen. You see what I mean though? By this just takes absolutely ages for it to do anything. And now it's not even doing anything, like my debug... Oh, it's still trying to load stuff. Okay, I see. You know what? Whilst that's, because I think it will ping me when it's finished. Let's open up to Hydra. So I've already started to rename. So this is Csd Dll. Yes. So CSD load CNT file. Perhaps restart it. No, I don't want to restart it because then we're going to have to do the whole thing again. I'm just going to leave it running in the background. So I'll show you what these CSD files look like. So if I go to a Mercedes-Benz folder, so I've copied my Mercedes-Benz folder to my Linux host just so I can work on it here, because that's also one thing I plan to do, is to add support for other OSs, like for Socket Can, you can do that now. You can technically use DAS with it once I finish this. But anyway, you try DAS, trees, PKW, and I want motor, where is that, motor D, and I want to find CRD, or is it CD? I can't remember which one this one is called. CDID, here we go. So this is the stuff for this ECU I have on my desk. We go to CSD folder, and there is this cdid.cnt. We open that with Kate, which is my handsome text editor, and here we go. So this is what the scripting language looks like, so it's pretty cool. So you have a line number as the first column. I don't know what the second, third, and fourth column is, but I think the fifth one is stack depth. So as we go down, you see if we go into like this if block, so this is an if block now, this number increases, and then as we come out of it, it goes back out of it. So I think this first, second, third, fourth, fifth column is stack depth, and I wonder if that's just to make things keep people okay. But anyway, so I've taken notes as to what a few of these statements are. So for instance, you have at the start of every file this start global variables section. So I think this puts these variables in like a special place to be used anywhere within this script. And then for instance here you have a function, so start SCN show coding. This takes a string called SECU, it takes another string called scoding qualifier, it takes another string called SST file name, and it returns an integer. So I believe that's the function signature, right? And then here we have integer called iError, and we assign a value of -1 to it, and we do the same thing. ECU name 1, we assign a blank string to it, hence why S and then colon and nothing next to it. SBR, assign the same thing. SBM, assign the same thing. iMode byte, we assign 1, and then we start ENT. So this is another thing I'm not too sure about. Oh no, wait 1 second, 1 second. I might be getting confused. I think start is to enter of... No. What? What does ENT mean? I haven't seen that function before. And it doesn't seem to return anything. But it's a function within a function because we haven't yet come out of anything. Huh. Also, these expressions seem to be confusing for me. So you have end else, then you have if I error is smaller than integer 11 expression, then I timeout is smaller than I max timeout expression, and expression loop. So if I open up a new instance of Kate, file, new, drag you out, open, I can't open you in a window. So I'm trying to work out what this is equivalent to. When you have multiple EXPRs, and I'm wondering if expression is a thing at the end of a line to denote that this here should be taken as an expression. But then that doesn't make sense, because there's no AND block between this expression and this expression, it's just two expressions stuck together, but then you have this AND expression. So I'm confused as to what this all means. Or could this mean I error is smaller than 11, and so we place this third expression in between these two, so I error is smaller than I11, and I timeout is smaller than I max timeout, then go into loop. Right? If we go ahead and find another one, then let's see. So that kind of makes sense, because you have a look at here and say SBM is equal to string 084 expression, and then you enter an if block. Right? So that kind of makes sense. And then you have end if only to basically denote that this is an if without an else block. End if only, end if only, end else, end else, end else. Oh yeah, no, wait, I was wrong. So, I was confused. Right, so back here at the start, I don't know what start means, right? Because you have here a start, then global variables section, and you do all this crap in them, and you say end global variables, right? Now, start SCN show coding, it returns an integer, great, but it doesn't assign it to a value, right? So now I think that start means to call a function, right? Because if you go further down... Oh, no, don't worry, forget what I just said, I'm just getting confused. Then here you have another function, so start pub coding, so I is a integer called mode byte, string secu, string coding qualifier, integer, integer I reset art, art, I can't remember, I think art is, if this is taken as an ECU name, I think art is cruise control on these older cars. And then another string S reset service interval, another string SST file name, another string SST tab name, another string A keywords, or S SST group. Oh god, this is confusing. There is that's interesting. I'm looking at the blind behind my desk and it's just a thing going up and down in the shadow. That's interesting. Now also one thing to note in these functions is that they're function calls to cal. So if I find cal underscore, here we go. So this is a bit more confusing as well, because I don't know what this is doing. So you've got here another start function, right? But just before you have a function called to calcom, and then secu, sinit coding, string coding qualifier, right? So if we go ahead and find that function, come up, calcom. So if I load up cal.dll in, oh look at that, that's finally finished. Okay, we'll look at that in just a second. But if we go ahead and find cal and look at export functions and find cal underscore comm, that doesn't exist, right? In cal. So what could that mean? Right? So it just seems to be, I don't know what this is doing. So anything on the same line is taken literally as the same line. Start pub code pub com error check medium. If I copy this into here, oh yeah, also these pub functions, right? I believe these are public within the scope of the script, because there are also other functions which seem to be loaded by CSD when DAS starts up, and some of that can call those functions. It's like really strange. Here we go, here's another one. So cal get Caesar com error. So if we copy you into here, get Caesar, cal get Caesar. See, there's cal get Caesar info, but there isn't cal get Caesar com error. So if I search up detailed com error, detailed. Oh, look, there's cal get detailed error. Yeah, I wonder. But then this only takes SECU and integer 0, but this function calls 3 things in Ghidra. Do you see what I mean by this is actually horrible trying to work on? I mean, it's not as bad as BMW. So BMW, you can have a look at the project on GitHub. It's called Ediabas, I think is how you pronounce it. Essentially, BMW employs a binary data format whereby it's to be executed by a finite state machine. At least with this, you could have a look at the instructions in text form. So it's not as bad. And I'm working on an interpreter for that stuff so that I can use that with my Open Vehicle Diag project. So you can load BMW files into it as well. Anyway, display create modeless message box. So this I believe is a function call. Right. Let's see if I call create. Oh no, that's not here. So again, so you have display create message modeless message box, but I think this is a function within Csd Dll, not cal.dll. And I can pretty much check that by copying this, going to strings and finding it. Here we go. Display create modeless message box. Right? So references show references to address, and it's referenced by 3 different functions. So let's have a look at the first function call. Where is it referenced? Okay, so this does something now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 parameters here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters here. Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next reference. So again, what does this do? Does this like register them? So this is being called quite a lot. So I'm gonna rename you to register function maybe, right? I don't know what you do, but I want to know what you do eventually. So we'll call you, and this just seems to call char param 1. So this is I'll call it cal function name because I know what that is. So PC bar 3. Why do you do this? Why do you just assign you to you? Okay, so cal function, let's call it CFN internal, just for the sake of this. And you are a char star, yes, that's correct. cvar1, whatever the hell that is, equals a pointer to that. Then we increment the pointer, while cvar1 does not equal 0. So basically it's incrementing this to the end of a string. Okay, so it's trying to find the position at the end of the string. Then it goes ahead and does cal function name plus 1. What? Why are you doing that? Oh, I see what this is doing. I think this is now getting the length of the string. Because if you have a pointer and you're incrementing that pointer every single time until the end of the string, then you just minus the pointer to this string coming in, plus 1, because of course you've added 1, because it's a do while rather than while do. So this now must be the string length, right? So if I rename this to string length, right? String length equals string length plus minus. Yeah. Okay, and then we seem to be assigning a new char. So we seem to be assigning a new character array. So we'll call this one cal function name allocated. But now this doesn't make sense because this is calling it a if I go ahead and can I auto create structures? There we go, a strut2. Great. So this now seems to create a new structure pointer. Yeah. Okay, so this is string length plus /r. What is /r in operator new? What do you do? Operator new. Because you are just being called with one argument, so you would be... Yeah, so it would just be a count. So string length, so we take our string length plus /r, which in this case is /r in decimal, oh, in hex. What are you? What are you? How do I check what /r is in a disassembler? Can I retype this? References. So I think this is 0xd, which, if I go ahead and put a comment in there, 0xd, which is in decimal 13. Okay, so we now go ahead, say CFN allocated, so create a new structure, or a pointer to a structure, but you want that structure pointer to be 13 digits longer than the length of the string. Okay, I'm going to rename these to str then maybe, and call you the same thing, str then maybe 1. Then you do it all over again. Do cvar1 equals pointer to cal function name. Then cal function name. What on earth is this doing now? Because it doesn't seem to do anything. It just allocates and returns. Huh. Okay, let me have a look at the next reference where this is used. Okay, it's used here. Alright, fair enough. cal ignition, cal retrieve PDU, cal do actuation with cache, cal do actuation unit, cal do actuation array. References show reference to address. Oh, that's interesting. Cal ignition is not actually used apparently within here. Odd. Okay, let's go back to Kate. There's display error box. That must be an internal cal function. Let's have a look at this one. Cal gets Caesar com error, because this is, I'm curious about if this is an internal one. Yep, find you. References to address. It's not used. Huh. That's bizarre. Could it be because... Oh, hang on a minute. IIISI. Okay, I've seen these before somewhere, so I want to go to the start of this entire list here. Pub look for special processing, whatever this is. I don't know. Oh yeah, also here's another thing. So array gets size. So this returns the size of array. I'm pretty certain about that. It's self-explanatory, right? Let's go have a look at how this function works. References to address, but it's not used, right? Same stuff here. We go array start, references to address. It's not used. But there is a lot of functions in CSD which I'd need to like reverse engineer and put them into my own stuff to work out how this script even works, because essentially we're going to be calling functions left, right and center, and it's not going to know what to do with any of them once we start implementing it. ITMP. How many people are watching currently? Let's just have a quick look. 19 people. Not too bad. Okay. And my laptop actually sounds like it wants to take off. Okay, I'll go back to DAS to put it out of its misery. So we shall... Oh, that's not the VIN number. 1 second whilst I do my sneaky thing again. And quickly copy my VIN number from my super secret text document of car VIN numbers. Okay, paste you in there. So, Drivetrain, CDID. And again, this is going to be where it takes literally until next millennia for it to do anything. Because that's Daimler software for you. It's super slow and super buggy, and they basically just tack everything on with duct tape. Jeez, I've increased subscriber counts so much lately. Like literally within the past 10 minutes or so. Wow. That's impressive. Apparently Machina released a newsletter. If you guys have come here from that newsletter, do like ping chat or just put an emoji in chat just so I know roughly how many of you have come from Machina's newsletters and how many of you guys are like normal. Oh, actually, I can do a straw poll, I think. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and create a poll, and I'm going to paste that in chat for the first time. You know, get some audience interaction here. Yeah, I know some of you are normal, but like, here we go. We'll go ahead and pin that message so that you guys can all go to that lovely URL and fill out that Come on, see, look, CDID is still trying to, it's still trying to talk to it. I'm gonna actually clear these application logs since I don't need Darcy's logs anymore. Bye-bye, clear. Go on, clear. Oh yeah, and it's starting to spam already. So you can see it's now just spamming. So this is now, I'm now watching it live as to what Caesar's trying to do in the background. But again, this is what I mean by it keeps opening and closing the file every single bloody time it wants to do something. Like, it keeps repeating itself. It's not very efficient, is it? Oh, there we go, it's doing something now. Okay, so again, this text in here. Oh, I should also notice, I've already worked out how to get the text of the UI. So basically, all the text within DAS is an integer, and it looks in a thesaurus file to work out if I'm in which language, which string do I need to display here. So that was pretty simple to work out, but so like all this stuff like safety notes for fuel, safety notes for high voltage, and all that stuff, that's all within the thesaurus files. So it's quite easy to extract that information, but you'll just get like a long garbled list of just strings, so it doesn't make sense. Nope, yep, I hereby confirm I have accepted the fact that I'm going to die by using the control unit on my desk. Anyway, so if we go ahead and clear these log files now. Clear. Go on. There we go. So we can now see what it's doing and what it's sending. So I'm curious as to what the control unit array is, because this doesn't look like KWP. So I'm looking for the specific... Okay, so I found here, this is the address of the ECU, 078. No, it's not. I don't even know what it's asking, like, so... Okay, I'll just clear this and we'll continue. But let's go to control unit version, if I quickly view that. So this stuff here is from CBF file. That's how it gets that. It basically just queries a certain ID within the ECU and it spews out this information from the CBF which matches it. The only thing really is the software status, which actually comes from the ECU itself and hardware status. But stuff like the supplier name, the version internal, the version, the two version internals. Okay, that's another bug. Why are they called the same thing? Anyway, so if we go to Actuations, I'm going to clear this beforehand because this is going to like spam the living daylights out of this. And we go to like fuel pump, and oh, you need the engine at idle. Can I do it with the engine off? Like, I need something that I can do with the engine off. Ignition on. Okay, so ignition is on, and we're going to say open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, abort. Let's see what it did. Stop. Oh, I cleared that. Okay, we'll just quickly do a bit more. F3, F4, F3, F4, F3, F4, F12. Stop the auto scroll. How did you learn all the car related stuff like how a gearbox works, etc.? Honestly, just continuous exposure. I find with my type of stuff, if you just throw yourself head first into it, and like you might not understand all of it at first, but eventually you kind of pick at it and you go, okay, I understand how this works, I understand how that works, I understand how this works, and eventually you end up kind of understanding most of it. But like there's still a lot of stuff about cars I personally don't understand, but I'm happy with what I do understand. It lets me do stuff like this. This is all Caesar, I don't care. Here we go, so cal do actuation was called. Rescale actuation values to Caesar if unit if necessary. No rescaling value has already target unit. Okay, so that's interesting, it can rescale stuff. I should take note of that. Actually, let's find do actuation, see if that exists in my text file. Actuation. There's this thing, k control add svc do actuation. Oh, what was that I just passed? Oh, cal do actuation, there we go. And what function is this in? What function is this? Start pub look for special processing. No, this is start pub read coding control. Where is cal do actuation? I glanced over that, so this is under, I need to find the nearest start. Start, what on earth does this mean? Read and prep control struct, whatever this is. I mean, there's a number of control elements and it returns an integer. Oh yeah, so you have start, which is to start a function, and then you have call, which is to call a function. Okay, that makes sense, I suppose. Also, array get works like an index specifier, so you specify the wait, what? How does this work? Huh? Array get doesn't make sense now. It used to be that I'd only see one argument at the end of it, but no, you have assign. I'm so confused how this works. See, again, this is what I mean by cal is confusing. So you have call this function, and I assume this means call it itemp, right? So call the output of this function to itemp, right? Cool. Next you have iret plus i3, so iret plus 3 expression. And I assume this then means you now assign it to the output of this expression to iret1, right? But now you have iret1 here, array get, a string, and then another integer. Like, how does this scripting language work? Okay, I want to see if I find call, what happens within cal when it sees something saying call. Csd Dll, call. Oh god, there's loads of them. But there's no call by itself. That's interesting. Huh. Also, how's the straw poll doing? Okay, so according to the straw poll, about 33% of you have come from Machina, and 67% have come from YouTube. Okay. That, you know, that's not bad. Anyway, also one thing that I'm trying to work out, so you've got these double end of compiler lines at the end of every single CSD file. I don't know why it's there twice, but we'll ignore that. But also where the entry function is. So you know over here how we had ent, open bracket, close bracket. So we had start ent, right? I assume that means start the entry and don't assign it to anything, right? I assume that's what that means, but then if we go ahead and find another CSD file, it might not have that function in it, which means how do you start? So again, if we go to CDI, let's go find another, let's find EGS52, because that's my gearbox. So that'd be under gear shifter, and then EGS2 CSD. And again, so here there are different file names, but there's nothing saying EGS2.cnt. So I have no clue how this thing works out what to do, or works out which script to execute. I mean, that must be called from another script somewhere else. So this is why I said, especially with something like a project like this, I'm taking it very slowly because I don't want to like wear myself out trying to work out how the internals of DAS works since it's such a labyrinth. Oh. Okay, it appears DAS has died. Actual values. What's data set? No data records present. Okay. Engine torque. Okay. Air conditioning. Okay. So again, stuff like main.cnt you say. I don't think there's a main.cnt. I mean, I could try searching for it, but I don't know. Let's find out. So main. Actually, if we just search for CNT, what comes up? Oh, I heard Windows cry. Oh, check that out. Fault. Communication with control module interrupted. Nice. I believe this comes from Csd Dll as well, so I believe if we go ahead and search for that string communication error, oh no, this would come from, I don't think it would. I think it would, but it would be too hard to find. What's 8.700.2142? Nice. Anyway, so version text for aqua.cnt, what is this? God, that's huge for apparently a version text. Discard all this. ECUMem.cnt, and that's in transport/CSD. SPRSim.cnt, SimMBU, SimMBC, SimSBG. And then there's these very vague ones. CD.cnt. CW.cnt. So that's software.cnt maybe? So like a lot of these scripts, it probably loads. Oh, this is interesting. This is flashing, so flash cdid.cnt, so that's probably something like flash. See, there's no EGS1, EGS3, EGS52, okay. But again, this is under the flash-in folder, so is this for flashing? So if I find ENT, see, look, there's no entry function on this. There's no ENT. Anyway, so we're going down to the M now. So is there a main.cnt? No, there isn't. Oh, there is. Main.cnt. Trees transport main CSD. Okay, that makes sense. So you create global variables. Okay, that's all good. So if I start ENT, yeah, there's no entry function on this. If I thought that's what that end means. You just start SD version get current OS. Oh boy, like, how am I meant to work out where to start calling these scripts from? Also curious, is .pas Pascal? In which case I'm curious if CSD is just basically like converted Pascal code. And also, I've tried Googling this and I can't work out what this is. Pack version CSD 1.0.0.61 Win32 MSC for NISP CSD. Actually, let's Google NISP CSD and see what happens. Yeah, there's nothing. So this is interesting as well, look. SD version OS win NT assign value of 1. SD version OS win 2000, hell yeah, Windows 2000. Assign 2. SD version win XP, and then they have SP1, SP2 and SP3. But this is 2020 DAS, right? And there's no variables after this, so that obviously shows you probably when they stopped developing this piece of software. Which kind of makes sense, to be fair, because I don't think they ever needed to. If I find this now, hey, what's the point then? So I'm searching in this main.cnt for SD version OS win XPS3, and it only comes up once, which is here. So you assign to this global variable, and you literally never use it. again, same for all of these, like, they never use them, that's bizarre. Unless these variables already exist somewhere. Like, if I search U up in Csd.dll, what comes up? Nothing. Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't expecting that to actually show anything. Trees transport main. Let's go there and have a look. So, trees. Oh, transp. What's in here? Oh yeah, also .s files are apparently some binary encoding of like requirements before starting functions. Dunno. Anyway. There's also these SGS files, which is interesting, because these are basically XML, but the XML contents gets replaced by cal.dll. Like, I don't quite know how it works, but I know that that's kind of what happens. What's in global? CSD PDF call.cnt, sorry. And MNP scale.con. And then there's pass3.s. Okay, Russell, how do you put DAS debug on? I'm curious, because I thought I have by enabling it in Caesar, but I mean, I don't quite know how you're meant to do that. Let's see if we can quickly just kill DAS. Just oop, oop, go here. Bye bye. Don't need you. Go away. Close entry. Okay, and I'm gonna clear these, and I'm gonna put Caesar out of debug mode just so it's not so painfully slow. Hopefully. Program files, Mercedes-Benz, DAS. And I believe it's under bin. So there's Caesar.ini, I believe is the one I'm looking for, or is it CSD.inf? Alt F11. Oh, is it just a key combination? Okay, we'll try that. So debug enabled, yes, so I'm enabling debug mode there, or is it cal.ini? I can't remember where Caesar's debug mode is stored. But I'll just turn debug to no for here for now, and set debug level to 3, just so it hopefully doesn't crash my computer next time we try loading this up. Okay, so you say if we fire up DAS and go to Alt F11, it should do something interesting. Okay. I mean, if it works, then you have my full respect, and I will thank you for that. I'm just quickly taking this off screen for a sec. Ooh. That did not work as planned. Okay, VIN number. Okay, so you say if I go Alt function F11. Oh shit. Okay. Next first.s, so current position, file name, it's loaded this. Ooh, this is cool. I did not know this exists. Okay. Well, let's load up an ECU and see what happens. Is there a way I can step this? So, trees pkw nmpkw.s. So let's quickly have a look at what that file looks like on my home system. So, but also I don't know who's calling this. Like, who's saying current position? Who's saying cell coordinate? Is this coming from CSD, Carl, DAS? Like, where's this coming from? How do I advance? Because I assume this is, like, you say it's debug mode, but this just tells me where it is and nothing much else. Okay, trees, PKW. So you're saying it's in MNPKW. Wait, what? This doesn't exist? Trees, PKW, And then it says it's an mnpkw.s. Oh, it does exist. Open with ghex. What's in here? Yeah, so this is like conditions for stuff, and oh my god, that's a lot. Try control F11. Okay. Control function F11. That did nothing. Or maybe I have to do it when I'm in. Alt F11 isn't working. Ooh, okay, here we go. And now it's giving me a different... Okay, so if I say control... This is interesting. So you notice how it's not giving me a native pop-up rather than like an internal DAS one. And now we wait a millennia for this to load. I don't think I disabled Caesar's debug mode. Whoops. Program data. Oh, okay, it's a bit faster than last time. Control Alt F11. Okay, Control Alt Function F. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I believe you guys might be able to hear me now. Just let me know when you can hear me. Apparently OBS just decided to disconnect from my microphone, so I had to re-add it under another source, but I think we might be okay now. That kind of sucked. Yeah, but there's some static noise. Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. I was afraid this was going to happen. Basically, I'd adjusted my previous mic. But I might be able to turn it down in here. Let's see. Is this any better? Like, I'm worried I've broken something. How about now? I think this is where it was, sensitivity-wise. So we definitely had you at -5. Okay, do let me know if that's better now. Please, someone tell me if it's okay. Yes, kinda. Okay, we'll live with this. Sorry about that. You can put a noise gain gate in OBS. I think it overshoots. Okay, let me see if I can do that. It's fine. Okay, I'll just spend 1 minute having a quick look at see if I can lock volume. And advanced audio properties, and just set a gain sync offset tracks 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't. But this is better, but quieter. We're at -2.3, so I might just... All good. Okay, well, I'm sorry if I'm a bit... Volume is too low. Mic level dropped, but okay. Why is this... Okay, I'm going to set this to the same as it was last time, which was -3 decibels rather than -5. Hopefully that should be okay now. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what we were doing. I mean, we were pretty much okay last time. I just make it a tiny bit louder now. Ignition status cannot be read. Is ignition on or off? It's on. Okay, I'll have to do this then. Switch off ignition. Oh, ignition enable didn't work that time. Run. Ignition on. And ignition on. Okay, so it's complaining it can't talk to... It's interesting. Step mode. Okay, I think what happened is when I switched TTY, it unplugged the M2 or my A0 from my virtual machine. So we can very easily fix that by just restarting DAS. Essentially, is the easy fix for that. Yeah, I'd like to close entry, please, and we'll also just quickly unplug it from my desk. Bye bye A0, and plug you back in again. There we go. And now we try it all over again. Clear logs. Let's start this all over again. How many people do we have online now? Okay, 15, not too bad. Let's go have a look. Throw you in there and start the diagnostics, please. Send keys, control F11. I'm going to put you always on top. Just so I can see what you're doing. Hey Alex, nice to see you here again. It's been a while since you've been on the stream. Okay, F5. We are diesel right-hand drive. Hey, Spectres. What's Fog Crowd? Oh, that's really nice. Thank you very much, Spectres. What's Fog Crowd, though? I've never heard of that. Let me just quickly Google it. Fog Crowd. What's this? Oh, a hacker group. Hell yeah. Okay, well, I'll let you know if that turns out. Because currently we have 14 people. If I see a stark increase, we know that that's happened. So I want to know who's calling this, who's producing this window. Is this window being produced by DAS, or is it being produced by one of the DLLs within DAS? So control units. I mean, it seems to be on a separate thread considering DAS is frozen, but this hasn't. Drivetrain, CDID. Huh?
It doesn't matter how much you know.
Okay, I'm gonna just reset my ECU. So power off, power on.
Writing layers, or
okay. Abort process, and we'll try it again.
Video game terms.
Why couldn't you talk to it? It's so strange. Like, the ECU is working.
Well.
Again? Time to debug with Machina. So, if you guys know anything about the pass-through drivers I've written for Machina's hardware, I basically have a log file that I can query in Linux. So open Windows Terminal, and we're just going to... Oh, not Windows Terminal. Open Linux shell here, that's what I wanted. And tail Machina.log. Okay, so we're going to quickly call that again. Abort.
On its own with everything else that's out there.
Okay, and I'm going to ask it to go to that ECU again. Let's see if it sends or receives anything. Huh. That's interesting. It... Huh. Writing messages. Okay, so it genuinely seems like the ECU for some reason is not responding to my messages anymore. It's like it's gone offline. Now why could that be? I'm just having a brief look at my desk setup here. And I can't see why it would be doing that. That sucks.
A lot of that doesn't come down to what plugins you have.
Okay, I'm gonna say abort.
Right reverb helps and everything.
Let's open up my tool, because that way I should be able to just bring up a CAN analyzer and have a quick look to see if there's any network traffic. In which case then we can like forcefully query the ECU and ask why it's not.
And those two things are what make the
close, you piece of crap. Close entry. Go away. Okay, so if we open up PowerShell, Z, CD code. Ooh. Oh yeah, we're already in code folder, that's what Z is. This is my network drive, which basically maps to a drive on my host system. See if we CD open vehicle diag. Ooh, not that one. Open vehicle diag, CD app, and cargo run. Of course. Oh, wait, don't do that. Just target i686 PC Windows MSVC. And I'm gonna zoom this in for you guys.
Or watching YouTube videos or anything. I think that's more something you learn from doing it, from trying it.
So we shall go ahead and let this compile. If anyone has any questions, feel free to throw them in chat. I'll happily answer. Doobity-doo. And as usual, like, my laptop wants to take off whilst compiling Rust code. So this is my guest VM, and if I have a look at my host, it's not doing far better either. It's like completely pegged. Also, one thing I noticed is for some reason since GNOME 40, VMs no longer show up in your memory usage. So according to this, I have like, what, 2, maybe 3 gigabytes at max of memory used, and you go to resources and it's like 14.8 gigabytes in use. And check out that memory usage. I need to upgrade my RAM. So I think maybe something wrong with the ECU, like for some reason I've killed it, or just DAS, being the crap piece of software it is, seems to not be able to talk to the ECU when it's in debug mode. Don't know, we'll find out. If there's CAN traffic when I launch up the CAN analyzer, then we know that like I can talk to the ECU. So it can't be that. Nearly there. Also, if you guys haven't learnt Rust, you should start learning Rust. It's a nice language. I've really enjoyed its type safety and the fact that I don't have to cry whenever like a runtime error happens, because I barely get them under Rust. Unless I really mess up. But it's like intentional at that point. Must talk in debug. What do you mean by that? Russell, I don't understand your last message there. Okay, I think compiling is finished. It's now just finishing linking everything. Oh, no, we're back to compiling again. Also, if you guys haven't seen, I've started work on a new crate for Rust. For basically Keyword Protocol 2000, Unified Diagnostic Services, and OBD to all be in the same crate. And I plan to use that with multiple projects, so I eventually plan to port the codebase from OpenVehicleDiag to that crate for the communication stuff, so that we don't get all of these errors here. And also my new OpenStar project, which is like the Mercedes reverse engineered tool, use that for the same communication API as well. So that I can guarantee that like the communication side of things with talking to the vehicles is pretty much rock solid. The ECU must respond when DAS is in debug mode. Yeah, I know, so I'm thinking it does. Oh, hello, this is wildly broken. You should not look like this. Okay, we'll launch it in my host VM then. CD code. The reason for it doing that sometimes is basically I don't have a good graphics driver in my virtual machine, obviously, so sometimes it just kind of complains. Okay, here we go. So marking at A0, CAN analyzer connect. Oh, there isn't any CAN frames being sent. Oh, there they are. Okay, that's bizarre. Why weren't there any CAN frames back then? Why would that be that it just kind of like, there was no CAN traffic for ages and then eventually, I don't know. Let's quickly go have a look at Diagnostic Scanner, launch manual mode, launch the ECU file. Where do I have this? App Rust, and then it's under CBF parser. I have my CRD.json. see if it can talk to it. Timeout. Maybe something is wrong with the ECU. But I don't see why that would happen, given it was okay literally 30 seconds ago. And then we restarted DAS and then it's like, yeah, it's not working now. Could I have maybe moved one of the wires? I'm checking and I don't think I have. Interesting. I can have a look at the terminal to see what's happening. Yeah, could not set up Diag server, couldn't set up ECU Diag server mode. Yeah, it didn't respond. The ECU just kind of like, it's dead. As far as CAN traffic's concerned. Okay, let's unplug the instrument cluster from my desk. Because I basically got loads of stuff plugged in here, which probably best if I don't, to be fair, when I'm working on all of this. I don't need all of you, go away. Okay, so now it's just the ECU and the A0 on the desk. Go home, CAN analyzer, connect. Nothing. Off. On. Have we somehow managed to kill this ECU? I mean, it's drawing power. To 0.275 amps, so that's like normal for it to operate. Remove power from the ECU and reconnect. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Okay, sanity check. This CAN wire goes here. Ooh, this would be a very good opportunity to show off a new thing I got from work. I got an oscilloscope. If you bear with me for 1 minute, I will go ahead and collect my my probes for it. And then we can have a look to see what's actually being sent across the CAN bus on here and see if anything's actually working. 1 second. Okay, so I don't think we'll be seeing more than needing 2 channels. I'm going to just go to pure phone mode, move this over here. Oh, it's come back. It's literally, I just jolted it and all of a sudden there's data now in here. Which is strange. Why? Something is really finicky. M-Smoke, I don't think so. I mean, there is debug mode on the ECU, but I don't think it would cause it to do that. Have another check, so just sanity check, launch this A0 CAN analyzer, connect. Yeah, there's CAN traffic now. Okay, I will assume I jolted the ECU and slapping it maybe made it wake up, I don't know, some other crap like that, like someone will say. Let's just go back to where we were doing then. So I'm just going to very quickly go, oh, don't do that, don't want to launch that. Yeah. So just go here. And I'll copy this again because I need that bin number, and we shall go back to showing both screens. Okay, 3rd time's the charm, right? A0. Yeah, it's always good to think, M-Smoke. I always think with an open brain as well. Okay, we have 20 people on now, so we have increased a little bit from normal. But I am going to put my oscilloscope up, just in case I do need that, because that would be a very good tool to have. I'm just going to quickly check on here. If I move you over to this side, so I just have the ECU, then I've got this view here for the oscilloscope itself. But I won't be able to Unless I somehow prop it up, I won't be able to show it to the camera. Just because if I put this here, like it's a bit of a chonky boy, so I won't be able to really show it to the camera, and also because the cable comes at the back, so I won't be able to really show it. Sorry about that. But I've got it here, so I'll be able to report what I'm at least seeing. But actually, I'm going to connect one of my wires up to CAN, just so I can see if anything's being sent across it, and then if I know if it goes dead, well, I'll know in advance if it goes dead, basically. Is what I'm thinking is a better approach to this. Grab a probe. So if you hear any hissing noise or any buzzing like that, that's the oscilloscope, so don't worry. So connect you to CAN high, and connect you to ground. Okay, I definitely see traffic on this now. That's good. So back to DOS. Diesel engines, right hand steering. E220 CDI. I'm just going to quickly want to enable the ignition enabler. Run that, please. Okay, so if I do send keys control F11, and we'll just keep this on top. So main bin MNBM211.S. That's interesting. So there seems to be one for each model code. Okay, I can see it sending CAN frames across CAN here on my oscilloscope. Control units. No, I didn't want to do that. Did not want to do quick tests. Oh, that's stupid of me. Go up. Go up a level. Control units. We paste you in here. So, drivetrain. Common rail diesel injection. So what does this mean? So if I say step mode. On debug mode, what happens? Oh, and again it fails. The ignition is on. I can see you sending data. So why is it complaining that it can't talk to it? Wait a minute, so it's not letting me resize this window. But it's like, hey, there's more here. Okay, MN Mercedes N com.s step cell ID. And we're back to this. Okay, I'll take it out of step mode. I can definitely see you sending data. Don't you dare tell me you can't talk to that. Okay, I'm gonna cancel debug mode. See what happens. Close this, don't need you. Maybe if I just unplug my oscilloscope, maybe that's messing something up. No, control. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did, which was just to basically wiggle it around, give it a bit of a slap, turn it off and on again, and maybe move the CAN wires. Maybe they're just slightly out, so they're being a bit sensitive. Maybe that's all it is. Abort the process. Okay. back on, please. And we want CD ID. Turn the oscilloscope off, I don't think we need it. But yeah, there's definitely CAN traffic, unless the problem is at the A0's end. Maybe that might be why I'm not seeing it. It's definitely plugged in. It's definitely not shorted. I mean, now it's just taking its sweet time to communicate. How are we doing for stream views? Okay, we've dropped a bit. We've dropped down to about 16. It's not too bad. Okay, I bought this. This is just taking too long. What I instead want to do is I want to open up DAS, but the second I open it, I want to spam Control F11 to see what it first starts executing. Okay, send keys, Control F11. There we go. Okay, step mode. Oh, I can't do that fast enough. Okay, so it's under first.s and then it executes next first.s. Okay, so what's this? Can I view these strings? Vehicles, so it's found these vehicles in here, and default definition of entry light. What if I edit this? What does edit let me do? Nothing. Also, what's cell ID X and Y? So if I go to Csd.Dll and search up cell ID, no, nothing. So it's not Csd.Dll, so I'm going to save that and close it. And I'm just going to tap to save. I'm going to open up cal.dll instead. Oop, don't do that. Define strings, cell ID. Not in here either. Okay, I'm gonna open up DAS itself and see what happens. So, what's DAS's, yeah, DAS32R2.exe. Cell ID. Okay, so there isn't a cell ID string in here, but it's calling something. Get cell identification. Where's this coming from? So who's calling this? Import by name. Cell. Imports only. This is coming from mbgui32.dll. Cell ident. So there's, oh no, shdata32.dll. Get cell ident and set cell ident are in there. So let's open up that DLL. Data32.dll. Will this video be available on your channel or later on? Yes, that is the reason why I do it on YouTube, so that as soon as this stream finishes, it's up there for everyone to view. So, set cell ident. So this is under a class called CMenu Screen Extension. and exports it. C menu screen this if we autofill. And this is one thing I hate about Hydra, is when this type of stuff happens, because I have no clue what this is doing. And actually I'm going to just go to pure screen when we don't need the stuff at the bottom. Water is so hydrating. Okay, is the ECU gonna work now? Oh yeah, we're in step mode. Next, step. Oh, I wonder if .s files are like BMW's, one second thinking. BMW's binary files. Because there's a cell ID X and a Y coordinate, it seems to be jumping randomly to it, so I wonder if these are basically instructions. It's float variables, string variables, here we go, gs00 equals version, aha! gs00 version text for aqua.cnt. Okay. And then there's ultra global US 49. No ECUs, there's these two defaults. Okay, we're gonna come out of step mode and just continue. Oh, I want to select always on top. That's definitely something I want to do. So how about now? We have float var. Oh, look, now we've got. Okay, so GS00 is now pkw main csd main.cnt. Okay. And then there is hull xx01.s being loaded, and pkw program wizlink and wizcal.s, which is also being linked. Local variables. Okay, this is kind of making sense to me. Licensing language and unit. So lick, I know lick is licensing, but I don't know about the other stuff. What the other stuff does. There's also a vehicle, so this is vehicle data. Okay, so this is definitely coming from share data. So you can see it jumping around the sim ID, just jumping as it starts executing different stuff. BM identification.s we're now in. Okay, and we're going to select the vehicle manufacturing year. Okay, so now what strings do we have here? What on earth is this? There's a global variable GS42, which is -W0811 154711. That doesn't seem to mean anything to me. Okay, so VCI cable at SAEJ2534 pass through. VCI type is part J, VCI serial is 004660. Yes, that is the identifier for the Machina A0 that I've written. In use. So, where are you coming from? These strings. Okay, we'll select you. Now what happens? Okay, so we can see what it's trying to load now. PKW main KT KT211S and main BM BN. Let's go over to PKW main. Let's see what's in there. So PKW main, and then we said it was under BM. Oh wow. Okay. So BM203.S open with ghex. What's in here? So this just all looks like binary instructions, to be fair, because there's absolutely nothing which can make sense in these. So that again. I love it, they call the sedan the limousine. So these are defaults. So default BM limousine, default main CDID, default BR211. Also, I'm just noticing the stream latency is actually pretty high today. I wonder if that's because I might have not changed the stream latency. Whoops. Okay, we're still in MNB M211.s. We're still in there. Yeah, Vlad, I've already said the stream is going to be on the channel by the time you finish, so basically you just have to come back to this link once the stream is over and you can view the whole thing. Can S be opened as a text file? No, it's binary. I mean, basically the ghex I use, because there's text on the side and then on the other side, this side here is hex bytes, so you can see this is all gobbledygook, so it wouldn't be a text file. It's basically what I'm saying, so this is just going to be pure binary. And it seems that Das has just given up the ghost and frozen. It's been like this for a while, actually. Can I oh, you can refresh it. That's really cool. Okay, we're killing Das, and no, I'm going to keep Das open, but we're going to not touch that anymore. Because I want to now work out what's calling the debug UI, and maybe we can trace down backwards. So, if I had to guess... .s. What happens if I search .s? So nothing in that. Say, thank you. I believe when I looked in... Shoot, what was it? Oh, you know what we can do? We don't need to use DAS actually, we can use SimDAS. Because it calls the same DLL routines, like, it's just, but it's like the DLL is symbolically linked to a different one called calsimu.dll. I'm sure all DAS versions you could open S as text. I mean, if you find one, sure, show me, I'd happily see it. Yeah, let's open up DAS sim.txt and instead now throw that into send keys control F11. Bingo, look at that. So now we don't even need to use the real hardware. So that gets around our problem of it doesn't work. So I'm going to do my car this time, so we'll go 203. Let's load the 203, which is my car. F4 for mine. Sedan, diesel, right hand. 200. Okay, rest of the world. Okay, so control units. Then it was encrypted in later versions. So maybe that's why it's gobbledygook. Maybe it is text. I mean, sure, if you can find me a .s file which is not encrypted, then that would be really useful because I kind of know then what's inside the encrypted ones. So you can work backwards that way. But anyway, drivetrain. Let's do transmission because this will call EGS52. Control unit software. So this is interesting, look. You've got 722.6 as of 2005, where the control unit is programmable, and 722.6 as of 2006, which is what I am. Okay. Control unit versions. So EC... Ooh, look at... Oh, no, this is trying to load EGS53 now. What's that debug window? Is it from DAS itself, or you've created it? This is pointed out by Russell. If you do Control-Alt F11 in DAS, this comes up. So this is now EGS... Oh, this is interesting. So EGS1 is EGS52. Well, that isn't confusing at all, is it? ECU2 loaded, nothing, string variables. This looks like a string codia.cnt is loaded. GS01 is this. Okay, if I do control unit versions, what comes up in here? Nothing much. Okay, but I'm curious about adaptation values. How are adaptation values stored on here? Oh, let's control test all solenoids. Can we do that? Do you wish to carry out the test? Yes, I do. Oh! Look at this. It raised in the CNT file, skip while statement because of invalid expression. Ooh, so this is definitely CSD. So let's actually open that file and see where it's complaining. Trees. Yes, it'd be PKW, gearbox, EGS1. Trees, PKW, GS1, CSD. So we're executing this function, whatever the hell you say this is. Open with Kate. And apparently it's line number 99. So apparently line number 99 broke. So what's line number 99? Here. So apparently it broke at loop. Huh? Well, you tell me, that does not make sense at all, does it? That's interesting. Oh god, it's going to keep doing this now. Ah, good. Oh, it's actuate. Okay, cool, cheers. My German knowledge is like 0. That's very good to know. And DAS is now completely frozen on me again. So, if I had a feeling, let's have a look at... Ooh, which one did we load? Let's have a look at cal.dll again. And if I search up .s on here, because I remember I saw in one of the files there's first.s being mentioned. Or was that Caesar? Conditions not met. Oh, okay. So if I find c32s.dll, I believe there was a mention of first.s in here. Which I assume is what DAS opens, like when it first says hello world, it executes that. No, it's not in this. I saw it in one of these DLL files and I'm mad that I can't find it. Urgh. Here it is. It's in CSD, so it's definitely part of CSD runtime. References to address. Decompile this guy. So here there is this giant string local 1c. So let's call this first s, just so I can see that. C configure information, get full HTML path to that. So this now seems to call something on dat 100 DC794, and it seems to call it with first.s. Okay, let's open this up, and we'll call this one. What the hell does this do? See, I hate the way Ghidra sometimes decompiles this way. It puts like templates everywhere. Okay, so this doesn't seem to do anything as such. Yeah, there's no function calls here. So we can say, we can go back on this one. Is there any more mention of first.s? No, there isn't. Oh, there is here. But that's a destructor, so I couldn't care less what that does. Let's find a second reference. Ooh. It's apparently in this function. But they're both in... Yeah, they're in different functions. It's that one, and then there's this one. Okay, where is first.s mentioned? Here it is. So, let's call you first s. PC var equals a pointer to that, so first first S pointer, and then this gets full SGML path here for first.s. And then if that failed, then couldn't find Dar's SGML base directory. But if it didn't fail, then what happens? Then we load this one, which is that same function. So it calls this again. And then yeah, it doesn't do anything. So what's SGML? SGML. I'm curious as to what this is now. It comes from C configuration information, C SGS FC item, C SGS single source. Okay, I think load. Where do you come from? Imports. You come from SGL's. Oh, SGLE source.dll. Okay, let's have a look at that. SGLE source.dll. I wonder if that's maybe what the .s extension means. It's .s. Invalidate time. I'm just quickly having a look at the strings to see if this can tell me anything about what this thing does. Oh, it is, look. Dll language code, Dll country code, Dll outlet code, Dll client ID, Dll user ID, Dll registration, designation. Yeah, these are all strings which came up in the debugger. So it's definitely, and this is importing loads of functions. SGS. So what do you import? Crikey, this is huge. Oh, this exports a lot of things. Okay. Wow. Look at that. So exports, file ref, hint file, get CV file, get destination file, get FFF file. Get file name. So if I just search for error, right, I want to see if it's logged anywhere, then that might be able to tell us what's causing things. Syntax error, syntax error. If I search up CPP, oh, here we go. Source md table def.cpp. So let's have a look at two references to this address. None. That's useful. Ah, there is one. I was clicking on the wrong bit. Decompile this. Oh my god, this is a big function. So internal file trace xref equals source md table def.cpp. Error in. So this is dash trace, c-trace info, and I'm going to set the function signature to allow for varargs, because there's clearly varargs because there's 2% %s there. Oh, you've allowed it. Okay. So I'm going to manually edit this then, use custom storage, add char star. Oh, it's unassigned. Oops, okay, that's not going to work. C maintenance line. How does, okay, so that's an external function. Okay, so I was also going to say, I think I should probably end the stream because it's been about 2 hours long so far. We can continue this in the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to probably spend some time on my own, having a look at this in my own free time. And then maybe by the time we come to the next stream, I'll have a better understanding of how some of all this works. Now that I've just kind of discovered Debugger, I need to have a look at that, so thank you so much to Russell for pointing that out to me. If you guys have any like 5-minute questions or so, feel free to ping them in chat. Also, just have a look at this, because now apparently this is finally... Oh, it's still frozen. Yeah, Das is dead. What was that? Oh, SimDas. Okay. So So if we go to adaptation quickly, let's have a look at this. Adaptation, display or reset of adaptation, display adaptation for this. Whoosh. HTML is a markup language standard generalized that Daimler used. They changed it from XML. Yes, I know. So there's yeah, I know about that. There's SGML. Oh yeah, that's the SGS file, not SGML. So I need to work out what loads the .s files. So SGS goes to SGML.dll, which is like this weird XML, but it looks like it, but it's not. Internal markup language. And interesting to see what you find. Yeah, I know, I'd be interested myself. Also, as a point of reference, it seems that Daimler don't make most of their software. It's done by this other company, and I think I can find it. Copy. Here we are. Copyright, legal copyright. Go here. Let's see if I can quickly find who originally made this. Yeah. No, it's not it. Is there any way of looking at who made the DLL file? I'm curious to see if I can. You company name, nice. Oh, here we go. Actia. Yes, Actia seem to make most of Daimler's software. So I've noticed it didn't say like Csd and Dll itself as copyright Actia. And if I Google who they are, they seem to be an automotive software maker. Actia. Here. This is Actia. So they seem to be the people who make DAS. And I think it was this, or is it a different one? Actia, if I search up Actia GmbH, because I know there was... Yeah, automotive, yeah, so it's definitely Actia who make the DAS. Okay, so I'll probably end the stream here. It's getting late for me as well, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to like post them in a comment or anything. I'll happily answer them in chat. In fact, I'll put a little comment in there now. Once I publish this, I'll put a little comment saying if you have any questions, just throw them in chat, and I'll happily, or as a comment, and I'll happily answer. But I'll let you guys know via Twitter and via YouTube posts if you're subscribed. They make the Part Demugs 2 original interface. Oh boy, that's nice. Yeah, I'll post a YouTube post before I start streaming, maybe a couple of days in advance to warn everyone that I'm gonna stream, and same for Twitter and all the usual social feeds. But yeah, thanks very much for this stream. This has probably been one of the most the most engaging streams so far that I've had on my channel for a while, so thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you guys all sometime soon. Goodbye.